This episode of a mobile home makeover, I finally start putting down luxury vinyl planks, but it's only a test. Yeah, it's a pretty close match. Well, Emmy decided to roll in something awful this morning, so she gets a bath before breakfast. It's a little cold, but whatever. While I'm waiting for my umpteenth batch of Henry 547 to dry, I might as well get started here in the bathroom, removing this supply line so I can replace it with the new one. Here's the new supply line that we purchased. It does attach the faucet. And it attaches to the supply line coming from the house. Now, what do you think are the odds that this new braided device will last the 45 years that other copper pipe lasted? It's funny, some of the original fixtures in this cheap mobile home are more high quality than what you can buy today. Well, now is a special time in a mobile home makeover. This is probably the #1 investment that we have made in this whole process, buying some new luxury vinyl plank. Now I'm going to start taking some measurements and figuring out well, the center line of the hallway, which is going to be kind of my starting point for figuring out where everything needs to be. If needed, add an additional layer of APA rated underlayment. Fasten and secure according to the underlayment manufacturer's recommendations. That's what my brother's been arguing that we should do. I don't know. All subfloors must be clean, flat, and dry, and structurally sound. The correct preparation of the subfloor is a major part of a successful installation. Subfloor must be flat, 3/16 inches in 10 feet or 1/8 inch in 6 feet. This area over here, I'm afraid, is not flat enough. I mean, you look here, it's level. You look here, it's level. But if you hold this, slide it out, you can see that there's a gap here. What does that gap look like? That's in 2 feet. That's 1/8 of an inch. So yeah, I gotta continue to fan this out, I think. Just make a big ol' whoosh fan. So it's one more time with the Henrys, 547, 546. If that doesn't level this out, I'm not sure what will. Only problem is, how do I get out of here? I'm gonna have to jump for it. So I'm gonna do it while filming. Better get a good grip on my tools here. Don't want to make a mess. I'm gonna have to land 1 foot there and then one over there. This is how I got in here too. I did that middle part first. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and over. Nice. The product we have is called Mineral Maple, I believe, by Shaw Floors Floorte. It's an LVP, but it's actually an SPC LVP, which means stone plastic composite. It's basically a concrete resin that makes the core of it, and it's more rigid than a typical LVP. Joe the Tender says that you can use a marker to make marks on here, and then it should clean up with denatured alcohol. We're about to find out. Okay, I've got my denatured alcohol, and I would say that came out. So they say the nominal size of these is 7 inches, but I put a tape measure on here. I'm going to put a few of them together and see what they add up to for dimensions. My basic challenge is I want to run one right down the middle of the hallway so that I have space so that either side they go into the jams partway, but you don't want it to go all the way through the jam because that makes it really tough to cut out. So you just want it to kind of come part way. So I'm trying to figure that spacing out. I have a feeling that my real plank is going to be less than, if I put 5 of them together, it's going to be, 34 and some number. It looks like my hallway is 33 and 3/4. So, and I'm going to take a 1/4 inch on either side for the expansion gap, which makes it, 33 and 1/4 that I'm going to need here, which gives me about an inch that my boards will go into the jam on either side. That's good. That's a good thing. Now here I'm getting just about 34 across. It's not quite. This mobile home is 24 feet wide, I believe. This wall, or this room, goes the full width of 1/2 of the mobile home, and right here is the seam of the mobile home. And that's at 11 feet 7 inches right here. And my 17 inches is at about, looks like 122 inches, 10. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out what the line of the middle board is going to be down the hallway, and so I'm doing a bunch of measuring. Now I need to do the math and divide 7 into, well, if that's going to be the center line, then I need to add 3.5 to that, so 125.5. And I'll have an idea of how many boards will run out that way and what my board will be at the end. Except I need to lay out like 5 boards in order to actually see what the real width of them is. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now because it's going to be fun and visual and all this other kind of good stuff. Since I need to lay out 5 pieces to see how wide they really are, I figured I'll put them over this ridge to see how bad it is or whether it needs more work. Under the 7 inches that the nominal width, because nominal means like a 2x4 is only 1.75 inches within the range of tolerability. Now I need to figure out how many pieces it would take to get to that wall and to the far wall, and make sure that my middle piece will be good for both of those too. Also, you can see I've already committed one of the big no-nos, which is I put 2 of the same pattern pieces next to each other. Whoops. I got the 5 planks together here, and it looks like my actual measurement is 34 and 5/8, 3/4, whatever that number is in between. That's some kind of 32nd or something. 5 of them is 34 and 5/8, which is 34.65. One of them is 6.925 inches. I looked up 0.925 as a fraction, and it's like not even worth knowing. It's like between 7/8 and an inch. We'll go based off the 6.925 if I need to do fancy math, but I'll go 7 if I needed basic math. Since my tests here went pretty good, I'm thinking about testing it right there too to see whether that area is passable or not. It's not quite dry yet though, so I'm going to wait a minute. Now I'm getting deep in the woods here, but I did the math, and if I put my seam right down the middle of the hallway,
it's good for the hallway, but here in the living room I wind up with 21.9 pieces that way, and that's fine. 0.9 of a piece is pretty good, but in all the rooms on this side I wind up with 18.12 pieces going that way, and the 0.12 pieces is bad. I don't want to have a 0.12 piece. So I need to move my center line over a smidge. Well, some good news is the pieces at least went in here okay. Let's see what happens walking on them. The other good news is it looks incredibly like wood. It occurs to me this 0.9 and this 0.1 are awful similar. So all I need to do is make this into an 18, make this into a 22. I do that by well, shit, basically just starting at this wall and making it 18 out here. So my center line is going to be 18 times 6.925. I'm just nervous that we have the same colors. We don't, but let's see what happens. I need a scrap piece, so I'm making a test cut. Well, it broke pretty good along the score that I put in, so that's nice. Using that piece to measure where to cut my So if this makeover thing was a movie, we would be now in Act 2, like the doldrums of Act 2, where it's like, what's happening? You gotta kind of keep the plots going. And, you know, it's real easy for the story to run out of steam at this point because you gotta keep people interested, but you gotta stretch it out a little bit, you know? Well, I'm about to introduce a new character. Actually, it's a return of my brother. He likes this chair too.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, maybe that's.
But no, I think he's
Yeah.
you know, all animals are slightly intuitive.
Yeah. Bill, you and I are gonna be copacetic, my friend.
Brooke is here, and I was just telling him the story of how we found the flooring. Oh, we went to probably Lowe's and Home Depot, and eventually I drove by this place called the Floor Trader, and we met the salesperson. We were talking to him, and you know, he answered all of our questions, and then I asked him, you know, what is the most popular one that you sell in here? Like, what is what do most people buy? And he said, well, this is our top seller. And we looked at it, and it was totally not at all like what we were
For real?
looking for necessarily.
Kind of, like you were looking at something gray, sort of.
Watching next time, my brother's gonna get started on the exterior, and I might actually put down some planks. Tune in.